Ladies and gentlemen, now I need y'all to lean in close because what I'm about to share ain't just motivation, it's transformation. Every morning before the emails, before the coffee, before the world even knows you up, you gotta say something powerful to the most important person in your life, yourself. See, too many folks out here letting the world tell them who they are, and worse, who they're not. But let me tell you something. The most successful people I know, they don't wait on no outside applause. They wake up, they look in that mirror, and they speak life into their own soul. So today we're going to talk about 7 lines, just 7 things you say to yourself every single morning. That'll change the way you walk, talk, love, grind, and win. And don't worry, it ain't complicated, but it is powerful. You ready? Let's go get what's ours. I'm worthy of success and happiness. These words may seem simple, but they carry a power that can shift the course of your entire life. Too many people wake up every day feeling like they're not enough. They question their value, their abilities, and whether they even deserve the blessings they dream about. But let me tell you something. Success is not reserved for the chosen few. Happiness is not just for the lucky ones. It's for those who believe they are worthy of it, who claim it before they see it, and who speak it into their spirit every single morning. When you say, I am worthy, you're not just throwing out positive words. You are declaring war on every voice that told you otherwise. You're standing up to every doubt, every rejection, every failure that tried to make you think you weren't good enough. And some of those voices ain't even coming from other people. Sometimes they come from your own mind, that inner critic, that self-doubt, that old tape playing in your head telling you you'll never be more than what you are, saying, I'm worthy, shuts that voice down. See, life has a way of throwing curveballs. Maybe you've made mistakes. Maybe you've been through some storms. Maybe people you loved and trusted walked away, left you wondering what you did wrong. But your worth has nothing to do with your past. Your worth doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see it. Saying I'm worthy of success and happiness is a way of reclaiming your power. It's about saying, no matter what happened, I still deserve to win. I still deserve peace. I still deserve joy. This affirmation isn't about arrogance, and it ain't about entitlement. It's about alignment. It's about aligning your mindset with the truth, that you were created for more, that your existence has purpose, that your dreams are not some accident. They're a glimpse of what's possible for you. But the first step to stepping into that possibility is believing you're worthy of it. Let me tell you, life don't hand you what you want. It hands you what you fight for, what you show up for, what you believe you're worthy of. And when you carry that belief with you, people start to treat you different. Opportunities start to find you. You walk in rooms with your head up and your shoulders back, not because you think you're better than anybody, but because you finally stop thinking you less. You might not be where you want to be right now. Your bank account might not reflect your dreams. Your job might not feel like your purpose. Your relationships might not be fulfilling. But none of that changes your worth. None of that means you can't rise higher. Saying I'm worthy of success and happiness is about keeping your spirit aligned with the truth, even when your circumstances haven't caught up yet. And don't get it twisted. There will be days when you won't feel it, days when you question it, days when life knocks the wind out of you and you can't see the path forward. That's when you say it louder. That's when you speak it even if your voice shakes, because the power ain't in just the words. The power is in the belief behind them. And the more you say it, the more you start to believe it. The more you believe it, the more you start to act like it. And the more you act like it, the more it starts showing up in your life. Today, I choose purpose over pressure. Every morning when you wake up, you face a choice. You can either let the world dictate your pace, pull you in 1,000 directions, and pressure you into reacting to everything around you, or you can move with purpose. You can decide what your day is going to be about, what your energy is going toward, and who gets access to your time and focus. Pressure is everywhere. It shows up in deadlines and expectations, in comparison. It whispers that you're falling behind, that you should be doing more, that everyone else has it figured out except you. But pressure's a thief. It steals your peace, your clarity, your joy. And if you let it, it'll have you running a race that ain't even yours. That's why before the day starts pulling at you, you've got to plant your feet and say, today I choose purpose. Purpose is intentional. It's powerful. It's the difference between being busy and being productive. See, pressure will have you spinning your wheels, exhausting yourself, trying to please everybody and prove yourself to people who probably ain't even paying attention. But purpose simplifies things. It reminds you what matters. It brings focus. It says, "Oh, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to do. This is the direction I'm going in. And everything else is just noise." When you choose purpose, you don't need to compete. You're not in a race with anybody else. You're not measuring your value by someone else's highlight reel. You understand that your journey is yours and yours alone. And that's a freeing place to live from. It lets you operate from peace, not panic, from confidence, not insecurity, from vision, not reaction. Pressure pushes, purpose pulls, pressure shouts, rushes, demands. Purpose whispers, guides, and inspires. And when you start your day with that mindset, when you decide before anything else that your actions will align with your purpose, you gain control. You're not just reacting to the chaos. You're creating your own rhythm, your own standard, your own definition of success. Some people live their whole lives trying to meet everyone else's expectations. But the truth is, pressure will never be satisfied. You can do everything right and still feel like it's not enough. Purpose, though, it doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence, for intention, for clarity. Choosing purpose means you know why you're doing what you're doing, and you're not just doing it to prove a point or keep up appearances. The world might not slow down. The pressure might not go away. But when you walk in purpose, you don't get pulled in every direction. You stop letting stress be your compass. You stop letting fear of missing out make your decisions. You choose what aligns with your goals, your calling. Your call. And that choice every single morning. That's how you take back your peace and your power. My past does not define my future. That statement right there can break chains if you really let it sink in. Too many people walk through life dragging the weight of their yesterday into every new opportunity. They replay their mistakes, relive their regrets, and relock themselves into limitations that were never meant to be permanent. But what happened before? Those failures, that heartbreak, those poor choices, they're not your identity. They're lessons. They're chapters, not the whole story. You see, your past may explain how you got to where you are, but it does not determine where you're going. Just because you've fallen doesn't mean you're finished. Just because you've been stuck doesn't mean you have to stay there. Growth is real. Change is real. Redemption is real. Redemption is real. And every morning you wake up, you've got another shot to rise higher than you did yesterday. There's power in choosing not to be bound by the old version of yourself. Maybe you used to be someone who quit when it got hard. Maybe you let fear call the shots. Maybe you weren't the best version of yourself in your relationships, your work, your choices. But guess what? That version of you doesn't have to own the next chapter. You get to evolve. You get to rewrite. You get to show up different and better. The world may try to remind you of who you were, but you've got to remind yourself of who you're becoming. And that takes courage, because leaving the past behind also means leaving behind the excuses, the shame, and the comfort of familiarity. It means standing in the mirror and declaring that your future deserves more than your past can offer. It means choosing hope over history. Even if people try to box you in by your past, that doesn't make it true. People don't get to label you. They don't get to lock you into an old image of yourself. You are not your failures. You are not your lowest moments. You are not the version of yourself that made those decisions back then. You are becoming. You are growing. You are stepping into something greater, not because you've forgotten your past, but because you've learned from it. I am focused, fearless, and favored. These words are not just affirmations. They are a declaration of how you intend to show up in the world. Focus is your ability to tune out the distractions and dial into your vision. Fearlessness is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. And favor is the unseen hand, the quiet advantage, the grace that goes before you and opens doors and connections can't. When you say, I'm focused, you're drawing a line in the sand. You're choosing not to let noise, negativity, or nonsense pull you off track. Because in a world that's constantly competing for your attention, social media, the people's expectations, life's chaos, focus is a superpower. You don't need to do 100 things halfway. You need to do a few things with excellence. And when you focus, you start moving with clarity, with direction, with purpose. Distractions lose their pull when your vision is bigger than your appetite for approval. Fearless isn't about pretending you're not scared. It's about doing the thing anyway. It's about stepping into rooms where you don't feel qualified and showing up like you belong. It's about raising your voice even when it shakes. It's about starting a business, taking the leap, speaking the truth, making the move, even when uncertainty is screaming. Because courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you refuse to be controlled by it. And every time you choose courage over comfort, you get stronger. And favored now, that's something special. Being favored means understanding that you're not walking this journey alone. That even when things don't go your way, there's still a greater plan at work. Favor is the thing that puts you in the right place at the right time. It's the connection that came out of nowhere, the opportunity you didn't see coming, the blessing that showed up when you were about to give up. When you say, I am favored, you're claiming that there's something greater on your side, something that gives you an edge beyond what the world can explain. Put them together and you've got a mindset that can't be stopped. Focus keeps you grounded. Fearlessness keeps you moving. Favor keeps you hopeful. When you walk like that, like you know who you are and whose you are, the world starts to respond differently to obstacles or opportunities in disguise. It's easy to feel defeated when life throws challenges in your path. It's easy to ask, why me? Or to feel like setbacks are signs that you're not meant to succeed. But the truth is, every obstacle carries within it the seed of growth, strength, and breakthrough. Most people spend so much time avoiding hardship that they miss the wisdom that comes with walking through it. The struggle isn't always the problem, it's how you see it that makes the difference. When you start to shift your mindset, when you begin to see obstacles as opportunities, everything changes. That closed door, maybe it was redirecting you to something better. That rejection, maybe it was protecting you from something that wasn't aligned with your purpose. That failure, maybe it was setting you up for a deeper understanding, a greater resilience, and a sharper focus. Life isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Obstacles introduce you to parts of yourself you didn't know existed. Strength you didn't think you had. Ideas that were buried beneath your comfort zone. Nobody grows on the mountaintop. The real transformation happens in the valley when things don't go as planned, when you feel the weight of uncertainty, when you're stretched beyond what you thought you could bear. That's where character is built. That's where grit is developed. That's where you discover what you're truly made of. Look at every successful person you admire. Their story is not just a highlight reel of wins. It's a collection of comebacks. They faced rejection, failure, loss, and criticism. What made the difference was how they saw those obstacles. They didn't treat them as permanent stops. They treated them as lessons, as pivots, as setups for comebacks. The obstacle became the way. So instead of asking, well, why is this happening to me? Try asking, well, what is this trying to teach me? Instead of backing down, lean in. Instead of shrinking, grow through it. Challenges are not roadblocks meant to stop you. They are tests meant to prepare you. Preparation always comes before promotion. And sometimes life delays you so it can develop you, so it can show up in your vision, so it can build your endurance. Because what you're being prepared for requires more than just talent. It requires depth. I attract greatness because I give greatness. This isn't just about the energy you put into the world. It's about the standard you hold yourself to even when no one's watching. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. If you want greatness, you have to carry it in the way you think, speak, work, and serve. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. When you lead with excellence, when you give your best even in the small things, you begin to shift your environment, your relationships, and your results. Giving greatness means showing up with integrity. It means being the kind of person who can be trusted, respected, and counted on. It's about giving effort when it's inconvenient, giving kindness when it's not deserved, giving focus when no one is keeping score. People notice that. The universe responds to that. The doors you're trying to open aren't just waiting on luck. They're waiting on you to show that you're ready. And this mindset also impacts how you treat others. When you give greatness to people through encouragement, support, leadership, and compassion, you create a ripple effect. You start building connections rooted in value, not transaction. You attract people who see your light because they recognize something familiar in themselves. And just like that, you start building a network of greatness around you. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. Greatness is not about status or spotlight. It's not just about having big dreams. It's about doing the daily work to bring them to life. It's waking up early when you could sleep in. It's learning when you'd rather coast. It's serving when you'd rather be served. That kind of discipline, that kind of consistency sends a message. It says, I'm not just hoping for more, I'm preparing for more. And don't be surprised when greatness starts coming back to you. The opportunities, the relationships, the success, it starts to match the level of greatness you've been giving out because life mirrors what you offer. If you walk into every room with value, sooner or later, the right doors open. The right people show up. The right moments align. And it's not luck, it's alignment. It's reciprocity. It's the natural result of a life built on purpose, on contribution, on giving your best even when it's not easy.